Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Peter Vanable, Dean of the Graduate School, and Associate Provost for Graduate Studies. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge with respect the Onondaga Nation, Firekeepers, the Haudenosaunee, the indigenous people on whose ancestral lands Syracuse University now stands. It is an absolute pleasure to see all of you. It's a great turnout for today's event. It's a celebratory occasion. Those of you who are award recipients are probably sitting there feeling nervous, but the message is that you've already won the prize. Okay, so you win. You're the top dogs in the field. So your presentations are a celebration of what you've done. That's my advice before we even get started. This is really a highlight for me every year, recognizing students who are recipients of the Graduate Dean's Award for Excellence in Research. The award is unique, and one of the features that I like especially is that it cuts across all corners of the university in ways that often we forget, which is that we have STEM sciences, we have social and behavioral sciences, we have arts, we have communications programs, a very wide range of outstanding programs that include both doctoral and master's students. And this is an occasion to celebrate all of that and to actually get a sneak peek at what students are actually up to, as opposed to just clapping for them. So that's why we have you present. It gives folks a chance to hear some of the wonderful things that are going on all across campus that help to grow our research enterprise and help to launch careers in a whole range of fields. So the 9 students we're recognizing today are truly inspiring. We have a really hard time reviewing these applications. We had over 50 nominations. Each candidate's submission was reviewed based on past accomplishments for sure. That's a big part of it. But the other piece is I think somewhat unique, and that's our sense of the students' capacity to present their work to a generalist audience. That to me, I think, is a critical skill that we hope students acquire as being part of a graduate program. Without being able to communicate to a broad audience, your work has less value. And so we asked students to submit abstracts that reflected a generalist audience and held to that in terms of how we reviewed our nominees, and we selected some great recipients. So faculty mentoring is critical to our students' success, and it's really important to pause to recognize mentors and also other faculty here that support students. Many of you in the audience who are students will attest that without mentors, it's really hard to achieve what you set out to achieve, not knowing for sure that what you're doing will be understood and valued by others. So I want to take a moment to recognize mentors. The first awardee that we'll be recognizing, we'll clap for the awardees later, so we'll save that. Jessica Hogbin in the history program. Advisor is Brian Brej. The second recipient, that is Aditya Srinivasan, a social science PhD recipient, and her advisor is Gretchen Purser. Elena Sun is a doctoral student in social psychology, and her advisor is here, Brett Jakubiak. Next, we have David Ojo Makpine Moses, who's in the chemical engineering PhD program. Advisor is Professor Ted Walker. Next, we have Jie Yu, an art photography student. Susanna Saylor is the advisor for Genet. And next, we have Yanbei Chen from Industrial Design, Development and Evaluation, advisor Jing Lei, who is here. Michael Seitz is an award recipient in bioengineering with Professor Era Jain advising. Christine On-Sul Park from Public Relations, advised by Jun-Su Lim, Professor Jun-Su Lim. And last, we have Dian Ling in multimedia photography and design with advisor Ken Harper. Can we please give a big round of applause to these advisors for all their support?
All right, our final presenter, Graduate Dean's Award recipient of the day, is Dian Ling, who's a master's student in multimedia photography and design. Dian has a documentary to show us. It clocks in at just a little bit under 6 minutes, so we're going to cut her a little bit of slack with the time limit here. But here she is, Dian.
I had a plan. I sat my brother down, I sat my cousin down. I said, yo, my cousin, best friend, father was the chief of police. I told my cousin, yo, you can go be a cop. I told my brother, you can go be a firefighter and I'm gonna own a barbershop. In 2 months, both of them was in jail. I had to break the cycles of these things so the kids will come after me. They have a foundation. My name Dave. I'm the owner of the lab. I've been cutting hair in the barbershop since I was 18. I'm 38, so I got 20 years doing this. Now, hopefully we can teach you guys something, answer some questions that you guys might have just about life, school, or what have you. A couple of us up here, we went to college, so I understand. I'm here, what I do, I call it reality advisor. I'm gonna give you the reality about what's gonna happen when a lot of you get out of here. I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Ended up moving to Syracuse after high school. I was primarily raised by a single mother. Met my dad when I was like 8 years old, the first time I can remember. The biggest things in my family was nobody was raised with a father. So my father died, he got killed in a club when he was young. My grandfather left my grandma, so my dad wasn't raised with his father. So now you talking about 100 years of young boys was not raised with their fathers. Like growing up, you know, you grow up, you idolize drug dealers and stuff like that. Nobody in the whole projects had a dad. But I always seen a couple guys who had families. I always thought that was cool. So I knew the first thing I wanted to do was raise my son. My other thing was I had to stay with the same woman, and it was so hard.
You gonna write something, a personal challenge you're going through, just affecting black men in the community in general.
So what happened was I cheated again. We ended up having like miscarriages. So like she couldn't go full term with pregnancies because I was worried about what I was doing. She had a stillbirth. What I realized was like in life, I wanted a family. And the things that I was doing was preventing it. It's a pit, right? And they got people lined up and they just walking and fall in the pit, walking and fall in the pit because it's easy. And it's almost celebrated to fall in the pit. Around here, if you go to jail, you get out of jail, they'll throw you a party. So I'm gonna get the board, I'm gonna walk across, and guess what? Everybody gonna walk across with me. And I did it, and I've been successful at it. Yes, sir! My son, he'll turn 18 years old in like 2 months. And I'm going to be the first person in my family to raise a son in the same house with him for the whole 18 years. That ain't been done in over 100 years in my family.
It's mama, it's mama.
Been with the same woman since I was 18, I'm 38. We've been together for 20 years. And we got 3 beautiful kids and we've been raising them as a family. I can stand here today and say, if my daughters meet a man like me, I'd be happy.
My daughter was playing on her tablet and she's seen some black men, white men, and she's like, Daddy. It's crazy because she knows that if it's a man there and he's present, that's Daddy. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's normal. She doesn't know anything else. Wake up, Daddy's there. Go to sleep, Daddy's there. And I just feel sad because I feel like it should be like that for all kids. My father wasn't there. So I'm so happy that we have a son gets to see how amazing his dad is.
You can see it. I can see it. I don't know, I still feel like that junk. What'd you feel? Yo, I ain't even cut that shit.
It inspires me to, not only help other people, but to also find that hustle in myself to, create a business one day, start my own business, then eventually help other people come into my business and also make money and pass it down to person to person to person. Like he's out here, doing bag giveaways, turkey giveaways. He did a Christmas giveaway, but giving everybody the opportunity to have fun for special events, giving kids a memory that they might remember for the rest of their lives. I'll say one thing that he's done for me that I really appreciate is him getting on me when I be feeling like I just want to do nothing, like just want to stay in the house and do nothing. Him getting on me to work out, him telling me what he did when he was a kid, and him telling me how he made money this way. But I admire him for being the father in my life, and I think when I grow up, I hope I to be like a father like him.
Don't be scared to be you, because sometimes that flow that you make it can send shockwaves through the whole world, through your community. It can change people's lives forever. Don't overthink it enough. Trick yourself out of what you already got going on. And that's all I got to say about that one.
Did you guys enjoy David's story?
Yes. First of all, I just want to say I'm so grateful today because I see so many familiar faces today. As you heard, my name is Dian. I study cinematography in the Newhouse MPD program. Today, I want to share with you 2 lessons I learned from my journey producing the documentary film The Cycle Breaker. In November, the week right before Thanksgiving break, when I planned to begin filming, I lost the use of my car after a crash. So I was forced to rely on Uber to transport myself and a full trunk worth gear back and forth for the duration. I was so stressed. But what was even more challenging was facing over 90 pages of transcriptions from interview with David, his patients, and his family members, and having only 3 days to produce a screen-worthy draft for the class. I doubted whether I could finish the film. During both filming and production, I cried myself to sleep many nights. I still remember vividly the turning point. It was the moment I sat down to piece together David's interview clips. Seeing his determination, his dedication to family, and his hard work, I realized all the effort and pain has been worth it. And also, I realized the power and the purpose of making a documentary is to bear witness. If David can break the cycle and bring positivity to his family, his business, and his community, then people who watch his story may be inspired by his example and believe that maybe they can do it too. The other lesson I want to share is what I learned at Newhouse, a place that encourages students to think deeply and discover who we are. Looking back, I see that my passion for documenting the human spirits comes from my upbringing. My father grew up in poverty, and my parents came from nothing but gave me everything. That's why since I was little, I have always been amazed by their resilience and wanting to know more about how people grow in adversity. That is why I want to tell this little girl that she never needs to be ashamed of where she comes from, what she looks like, or whether she speaks perfect English. Knowing who I am is essential in helping me better understand my mission and my direction, to use documentary storytelling about human perseverance to bring joy and strength to audiences around the world. Embracing your true self is important because I believe some stories can only be told, whether through data, lens, or words, by the most authentic version of yourself. If you would like to connect, please shoot me an email or follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn. The QR code will take you to my website where I constantly update my work. And at the end, I want to thank you, Graduate Dean Award organization, for the opportunity, and thank you all for coming. And thank you, my mentor, Dr. Harrison, and all my friends. You guys are the sunshine in my life. And thank you to all the Newhouse faculty and classmates. Woo-hoo! You guys have no idea how much joy you brought into my life. And thank you to my family in China who will be watching the presentation online. 爸爸妈妈和帅帅，我爱你们，还有所有我在中国家人们，我也爱你们哟。And lastly, if anything I said today touched your heart, I want to give all the glory to God, because from my daily work with Him, I know clearly that without Him, I would not be here today. Thank you all. Question, comments, concerns?
First, I want to say thank you for choosing me to do the documentary about. We had a wonderful time. But one thing I want to say is, when she came to me to do the documentary, one thing I wanted to exploit is that it's a major problem in inner city communities where a lot of kids are not being raised with their fathers, and it's all kind of research says that single mother households is creating some of the worst product of kids in America today. So one of the things I had always had in my heart that when I had a son, that I was going to have to be a father, and I was going to have to break the cycles that my family was going through for over 100 years, and that was not having a father present in the home. So with my hard work and dedication, this is the product of a person with having a. So he's the first person in our family in 100 years that was raised in the house with a father. To my right is my brother. Me and him was both. We had the same father. We wasn't raised in the house with our fathers, but like through determination and all the things that I have put forward, I hope that he'll continue what I got going on and being a father in his kids' life when we have them, and him as well. So we just trying to break the cycles and give our family what we never had before.
Okay, I think that's a pretty good note to end on. How about a round of applause for all of our Graduate Dean's Award recipients? I think Dean Vanable has a few closing remarks.
Almost. I think I teared up on the last one. That was really inspiring. Thank you so much. This does conclude our presentation phase of the ceremony. I again want to congratulate the recipients. This really gives me a lift at this time of year to hear all of the great work that's going on all across campus. So I'm so proud of all of you and proud of your faculty for the great mentoring you've provided to our students. Could we clap one more time and then we'll move on? Yeah, thank you.